Yeah, tell me, what did you understand?
Sir,
What did you understand about the constructor method in the class?
sir, it is a block of code. It is similar to the method. It will be called when the instance of the class is created and with the constructors. It is
Okay,
like
what's
a
the
source
purpose? What's the purpose of constructor class? Do
blueprint
we
for the
really need
reusable
one?
object, sir.
Huh?
Blueprint for the reusable object.
No, 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 no. Blueprint is a class. So what exactly is the purpose of constructor?
It
Use it to create an object.
Exactly, right? It's a used to create a data object, right? Okay, so if you want to construct, let's say, let me just share the screen. If you want to construct a house, what are the inputs? Can you all see my screen?
yes, sir.
Okay, if you want to construct a house, what are the inputs? Hmm?
For to construct a house, we need bricks and soil, water, cement.
Okay,
All
so,
the
so,
mm,
okay, bricks, soil, okay. What else is required for constructing a house?
Cement.
cement, sir.
Cement, right? Cement, bricks, paint. So many things are required.
Paint, yes, sir.
So what is that construction is called? So so that is so there are inputs and there is a process of construction. So what is the output of that? What is the output of that construction?
Building.
Building, sir.
So physical house, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Similarly, in the software world, so what should be the output of a software world? What is that we are dealing with here?
Applications.
No. So software deals with what? The primarily any software deals with what?
Develop an application.
No,
Virtual.
no.
I'm providing the
What is the output of any software?
service.
Information.
Huh?
Information, sir.
Exactly. So what is the output of any software?
Information.
It's the information, right?
Yes, sir.
So software, what is the input of a software? What is the input of a software?
Information only, sir.
Exactly. So software input is information, output is also
Output is also
information, right?
information. Yes, sir.
So the physical world, so in case of a house, basically if you look at the house, so okay, let's look at this diagram. It probably will help you to understand the construction part. So if you look at it here, so the object, what are the inputs? So object construction means what is the output of an object? When we say that object is constructed, what is that output we are creating?
Object.
Object, sir.
That is called information object. What is that output is called?
Information object.
Information object is being created. And what are the inputs for this information object?
Instant variable values.
Right. The instance variables, right? And the values of the instance variable. What is the inputs? They are
Value.
called values. Right? The instance
sir.
variables are declared where in the class.
Yes, sir.
So for constructing an object, what is the input we have to pass? We have to pass the values.
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 The values of the instance variables are the input. And what is the output? The output is
The output
information
is
object is
output.
created.
Yes, sir.
Right? So why do we need to do that? Why do we need to create these information objects?
To process the data.
To process the
Data.
Exactly, right? So to process the data. For example, if you take Swiggy or Zomato or Uber, so what kind of information need to be created?
We need to create the information regarding to the restaurants and
Menu of the restaurant.
menu card, and also
Exactly, right? So in
delivery
case of
person.
Swiggy or Zomato, what kind of information is being created? Information about the restaurant, information about the delivery agents, information about the menu items, information about the customers,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So these are the 4 different data objects that need to be created, correct?
Yes, sir.
So before we create the 4 different data objects, so what is that we have to create? We have to create the classes, right? 4 different classes need to be created.
Yes, sir.
So how many of you created the 4 different classes?
I
Prashant, have you created all 4 classes? Prashant, did you create all 4 classes?
No, sir. Yesterday I was absent.
Yesterday you were absent. Okay. Swati, did you create all 4 classes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you create the constructors, setters, getters?
Yes, sir.
Did you create the main method?
Yes, sir.
So in the main method, did you create the object by passing the values?
Yes, sir.
Did you print the values using the toString?
Yes, sir. Sir, no, sir.
Okay.
I didn't use toString method for to display. I just simply displayed by calling the object. Sir.
Correct. But how did you, so after creating the object, did you print the object?
Yes, sir.
That is what I'm saying. Okay.
Object. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. How many of you actually have not created any of the 4 classes? Can you all quickly chat whether you created or not in the chat room? All right. So all of you are clear about the why class, why object need to be created, why setter, why getter, why toString? Any questions around that?
Sir, just to explain about toString, sir.
Okay. So, for example, the object variable. So now let's look at this class. Right. So, okay, let's look at this customer class. Right. So in the customer class, so what is this CUS is called?
Name, sir. Name variable. Name
Reference
of the
variable
object.
for the object.
Reference
No,
variable.
what kind of a variable is CUS?
Reference variable,
Reference variable.
Customer type.
No, it is the object variable. Object variable of customer. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, what does it point to? So what
Details
exactly?
of the customer.
It pointed to the customer, sir.
Details
So
of the
it points to
customer.
the customer.
Yes.
Right? It points to the customer means what? Any variable, what is it actually points to? Memory location.
Yes.
Right? So CUS
Yes,
points to a memory location. Right? So when you print CUS, what happens? Okay, let me just comment out this. Okay, let me comment out toString. This I'm going to comment out. Do you know what is commenting means?
I know, sir.
Okay, how many of you know what is commenting the code means? So commenting the code means basically that code it will not be executed. It's not available. So how do you comment out Java? /* and anything you put between /* and // they're called commenting the code. So now if I run it, so what will it print? Let's look at it. So I'm going to run it. So what did it print? Let's look at it.
Customer array null.
Okay, what did it print?
Memory location.
Memory location.
So it did not print the values, right?
Values.
So do you know now? Do you know what is the purpose of toString? So the purpose of toString is to print the values of an object. Yesterday we discussed this. So if you want to print the values of any object, that class must have a toString. If you do not have a toString, then it end up printing the memory location of that object.
Okay, sir.
Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? So whatever so far we have discussed about fundamentals of programming language. We discussed about object-oriented concept. We created a class, setters, getters, constructors. So all these things we completed. Any questions around that? And I don't know how many of you completed those 4 classes yesterday. Right? So any questions around that? Okay, if you do not have any questions, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, how many of you understand what is a method? What is the purpose of a method?
Method can be used for reusable data, sir.
Okay, so method is reusable data. Okay, any other definition? So now the setters and getters, what are those called?
But to
Setters, getters,
retrieve the
constructors.
information and update the information would go to getters and setters.
No. But setters, getters,
They are
and
methods.
constructors. So what are they called as?
Methods.
Huh?
Methods, sir.
Methods.
Method, right? So, so setters, getters, constructors, main, these are all called as methods,
Methods.
right? Okay, so now what is the syntax of a method? Syntax of a method is, first is access specifier. I'll just explain what is access specifier. Then the return type, then the method name, then the parameter list. Right? So what is return type? What is the definition of a return type?
If you know the exact output, we'll go through the return type. Otherwise, we'll go through the void, sir.
Type of data, whether it is
Sorry?
string, the type of data which we are processing.
No, what is return type? Return type. What is the meaning of return type? Meaning of return type, whenever you have, let's say, for example, in this method, public is access specifier, return type is integer, method name is sum, parameters are int A and int B. What is the return type is that particular method, after execution, it returns a value of type integer. That is what is the method type.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what is the return type of that method? When after the execution of the method, what value it returns to the calling method and called method? All right. How many of you understand the execution flow? How many of you understands the execution flow? What is execution flow and how does it actually work? Does any of you understand? What is the execution flow?
Step-by-step execution of the program.
Correct. Step-by-step execution of the program. That program contains what? Every program contains what? What all the program contains?
Variables, methods.
No. Yeah, okay. Variables, methods. What else it contains?
Set of instructions.
Set of instructions. Okay, instructions in what form? What is the form of the instructions we are giving it? So the execution flow. So you said instructions, right? The instructions contains what? How are we giving the instructions as?
Methods.
Step by step, sir.
Step by step. Okay, now the step by step is what? If you look at the program, for example,
Methods.
this program is, if you look at this main program, right? So what do you call this? It is executing this, right? What do you call this?
Main method.
Main method.
That is the main method. Okay, main method contains what? Main method contains what? So they are all called what? Statements.
Statements. Sir.
So
Step-by-step
method
statements, sir.
contains statement, right? This is one statement. Okay. So now this statement is what? So the statement is a simple statement or a call to another method. Correct? So
Yes,
now
sir.
here that customer cost equal to new customer is what? It is calling the constructor method. What is it calling?
Construction method.
Constructor method. So when you do that, what will be the flow of execution? So here first main is being executed. Now main is calling what? Customer. Constructor method, right? It is calling customer constructor method. So first statement, Java starts with what? Main method. Correct? It started with the execution starts with the main method. So inside the main method, what did it encounter? It called the, what is this called? What is this called? Is this a method or a simple statement?
Statements, sir.
Huh?
Statements.
Rekha, is it a statement or a method call?
In first we it is
Uday
statements.
or Narendra, anyone can tell, somebody tell me, is it a statement or a method call? Kavya?
It's a
Statements.
method call, sir.
Method call, sir.
Exactly. So it is a method call, right? What kind of a method is being called?
Constructor.
Constructor of
Exactly, right? So that means, so the Java program execution flow is first it starts with the main method. It starts executing, then it encountered another method. It called the method called customer constructor. So what does it do? Then basically the program. So the program execution is called stack. So what does it do? So it pushes the, so it has to stop the main method, right? And then starts the execution from constructor. So what is the flow? Then it's called stack. How many of you know what is a stack? Have you heard of stack?
first in, last out, sir.
First in, fast out or last in, first out?
Yeah,
Huh?
both are.
Last
Both
in,
are-
first out.
No, come on, tell me which one is correct. Last in, first out or first in, last out?
Last in, first out, sir.
Last in
Both
first
are-
out, sir.
Both.
Last in first out.
No. Only one statement is correct.
Yeah, sir. Last in first.
Exactly. So here, what is it called? This is called main. So after the main, what is being main after the top of the main? Then the customer constructor is being called. So this is the order. So main method is, while main method is being executed, so the main method will be stopped. And where does the execution stop continues? It continues with the
Constructor.
customer. So what does the customer construction come? So what is the execution of this? This is this. This will be executed. Right? So the program execution flow fundamentally contains what? It contains, it's called stack flow. How does the program execution executes? It executes in the stack flow, last in, first out. So if, let's say, if this calls another method, customer insights calls another method. So then customer will be stopped and then the next method will be pushed and that method will be executed. Right? So this is called stack memory. What is the difference between stack memory and heap memory? Stack memory versus heap memory. Right? Stack memory and heap memory. Right? So the stack memory is something that continuously when the program is being executed, so all the local, all the whatever is the method related memory is stack memory. What is stack memory? Stack memory is what? Method related memory. And heap memory is all the objects that are being created. Is this clear to everyone? Any questions on this? So, how many of you studied the subject called operating systems? In your college? Computer science people, Shivaleka, are you computer science?
No, sir.
Okay. Prashant, are you from computer science?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, did you study operating systems?
Yes, sir, but didn't remember that much.
Okay, but was it explained there in the operating system class?
No, sir, I do not remember.
Okay, fine. So what is see the executables, right? You all know what is an executable. The Word, Microsoft Excel, the browser, these are all what executable programs in your Windows operating systems. Okay. So any execution program fundamentally contains methods, and each method dynamically executed. One method calls, method A calls B, B calls C, C calls D. Then the order of execution is, so then A will be on the top, B, then C and D. Once the D is over, C will continue. C is over, B continues. B is over, A continues. So like this is what is called the, how the program execution is being managed by, who manages program execution? Operating system. Who manages the program execution? It's our operating system. Okay. So operating system executes this and manages this. So the executable contains what? Have you seen the .exe files?
Yes, sir.
What kind of a files are .exe files? Are they text files or binary files? Huh? So they are called binary files. So all the executable files fundamentally contain set of instructions irrespective of the language. It is C programs or C++ or end of the day, all the programs fundamentally are all being executed, executable. In case of a Java, it's called JVM, Java Virtual Machines. But Java Virtual Machine internally again has to have the executable works with the operating system, right? So this executable is nothing but the set of instructions in the form of methods and statements. A program contains what? A program contains methods. Methods internally contains statements, right? Loops, and the order of execution is called step-by-step instructions. So whenever a method is encountered, then it is being pushed onto the stack, and next method starts execution. So that is what is called the execution flow. So during the method execution, all the method related memory and all is being used by stack is the one that uses the memory. Okay. So this is about the fundamentals of how the execution flow and all the stuff. Right. So now this is what is called the methods. How many of you understand these four? Return type, method name, parameters and all. Any questions around that? Okay. So now let's talk about access specifier. What is the definition of access specifier?
Sir, one thing.
Yeah.
In parameter list, it should be int or any kind.
Sorry, int or?
The return type is int, right?
Return type is integer. Yeah, parameters are also two integers.
Yeah,
Sir.
it should be integer or any other type.
Yeah, no. See, this is just a sample example. So what are the different return types allowed? What are the different return types allowed?
Int, float, boolean.
Double, char, string,
Okay.
That's
Yeah, return type could be any type. It is a custom data type or primitive data type. Anything can be the return type. As long as, so the class is what? Is the class a data type or not?
class is not a data type.
Huh? Is class called as a data type or not?
Not, sir.
Who said it is not? Swati?
Yes, sir.
Okay, class is not a data type.
Yes, sir.
Then
Because
if it is not a data type, what it is? What is it?
Sir, it's a custom data types.
Correct. But at the end of the custom, is the custom data type or primitive data type? They both are called as data types or not?
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So primitive data type like integer, boolean, long, or custom data type like class interface, everything is called data type.
Okay, sir.
So that is the data type. So the return type can be any data type. So the data types are two types, right? Primitive data types or custom data type. Custom data types are class, string, or interface. So what is the purpose of this data type?
Type of data.
Hmm?
But to tell which type of data we are using. That's
Correct.
why it's,
So the primitive data type purpose is clear. Custom data type, what is the purpose? For example,
it's a
class.
group of data, sir. Custom data. Custom
Huh?
data type. Group of data.
Correct. So now, so group of data, correct. So now that group of data is why that group of data?
Because in primitive data type you are using only single, sir. We have to declare only one variable or one data. But in
Correct.
custom, in class, we may include so many types of variables and
Correct. So now what does
methods,
it mean?
everything.
What does it mean from the real world perspective?
It will
So what does
store
it mean by in the
multiple
real world?
data.
Huh?
It will store multiple data.
So Swati, I don't want you only talking. Kavya, Suresh, everyone should talk. So this has to be interactive session. Prashant. So why custom data type?
It will store multiple data types, sir.
That is correct. But why? Why again? The purpose of the custom data type has to be clear to you. Archana. Hey, Nichanand, Uday, Realme, Madhavi, Deepthi. Why are you all hiding behind? Srikant, Manikanta Sai, Kalyan, Lavanya, Maunika, Naveen, Shivaleka. Again, I'm just telling you, you have 2 weeks. If you don't learn to display your videos, I'm probably not going to allow you to the class. Akash, please note it down. Who are all not showing their videos, we should not allow them after 2 weeks.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay. So let us give them 2 weeks to get used to this style of learning. If they're still not comfortable, let's talk to them. Right? If they do not have any data problems, we will not allow them. Okay. All right.
Okay,
So
sir.
Shivaleka or Lavanya, tell me. So why custom data type?
When we can't describe in a single field, we can use that non-primitive data types.
Correct. But can you explain it from real world perspective?
Um,
What is it that you cannot describe using a single field?
If we require multiple types of data into single one, we declare as a custom data type and we process that.
So that definition is correct. Give me an example. That's all I wanted. Give me an example.
We can
So this
take
is the
restaurants as
fundamental. Yeah,
examples,
Kavya,
sir.
tell me. Kavya, tell me.
We can take restaurants as examples, sir, because
Exactly.
multiple names will be having and multiple menu cards.
Menu
So
card
we
with
can take
prices. Yeah.
take them as
And
attributes
So,
in a single.
yeah, beautiful. So this is what I want to drill it down to all your minds. You need to get that concept. Everything is a custom data type in software. Has to be. because not everything can be described. If you look at it, so what are all the things we are dealing with every day? You buy the products, right? Can you describe your product? It's a simple thing.
Product name is string, price is numeric.
So, but you cannot describe using a single field, right?
Yes.
So the product has to be custom data type. So you buy shirts. Can you describe shirt using a single field?
No,
No.
sir.
You buy a pant, you buy a fan, you buy a refrigerator, you buy a utensil, right? So all the objects around us that we deal with, laptops, pens, spectacles. So this is all what this is what end of the day, right? Medicines, hospitals, colleges. What are all these called as? What are all these called as?
Custom
Yeah,
data
Prashant.
types.
Yeah, Archana. What are all called? What do you call them as?
Physically data type.
Simple data type. Who is that?
Sir, no, sir. Physically providing data, sir.
So they are all physical things, right? But when it
Sir.
comes to when you come to mapping them to the information world, how do you map them?
Using a custom class,
We'll-
custom data type. So we can use custom
Exactly.
data
So
type.
you have to map all of them as custom data type using class. So they are the real world entities, isn't it?
Sir.
So the software at the end of the day deals with all these real world entities, right? Your college software, your medical software, your hospital software, your MSET exam, that is a software, right? Your NEET exam, that is a software, right? Buying a product from Swiggy or Zomato, Uber, everything that you deal with is a software. Or booking a tickets to IRCTC, Red Bus, everything is again at the end of the day, you are dealing with these physical world entities. They all need to be mapped as objects. Correct?
Yes,
They
sir.
all need to be described using a class blueprint and created using an object. Right? That is a fundamental thing. You all need to understand it and get it and memorize it in this thing. Okay? Is that clear? Okay. So now while we are on that subject, so that information that we have, okay, now what is an access specifier? Let's understand this.
Access specifier.
The data should be shown private or public. We can declare over that.
It will give privacy, sir.
So why? What is the purpose of access specifier?
It can protect the data.
Okay, protect the data. Okay.
Based on data visibility, sir. If it is
Based on
visible,
data?
we make visible, sir. If we want
Make the data visible. Okay.
If
All
it
right,
is
now let's
utilized
look
by
at
all the
the-
classes.
Yeah, let's look at the real world.
Okay.
So, is our house physically protected?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
So we don't allow the strangers to enter into our house, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
that is called physically protected. That's called physical protection. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Isn't it? So who all has access to our house?
Only our family
Relatives
members.
and families, sir.
Family members. So that
Some
is called
guests.
what type of access? That is the most restricted access, right? That is called
Yes,
private.
sir.
Private.
So our house is access is only private.
Private.
Only access to that is called the most restricted access.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. So now, so if you look at all the public facilities like libraries,
Temple.
parks, and all, what kind of an restriction is this?
No restrictions, sir. Everyone
Everyone can
enter.
visit, sir.
So
Example,
that is
temple,
called the
sir.
public type. So the most
Yes.
restricted is private. No restrictions. It is called public. So in between is called what is called the protected. Okay. So what is protected is like, for example, it's just like our extended family, right? So our extended family of friends and all our network has access to our information, isn't it? If you look at your personal information, who all knows about you?
Our friends.
Exactly. So your friends and your relatives and all, right? So that is what is in between. It's called protected. So least
Yes,
restricted is public, most restricted is private. in between is called private.
Protect.
So if you map it in the software, how do you define protected? All the related classes, we put them in the package. All the related classes, we put them in the
Same
package.
package.
And so all the classes in that package can access that, called protected.
Public.
Plus all the children of the classes that inherit from this also can access, called protected. So the next level of similar to protected is called a default. In the default, so only the classes within the package can access it. The difference between default and protected is, in case of a protected, children classes can access it. In case of a default, no, it's only the classes within that package can be accessed. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is what is called the access specifier. Access specifier is specified for what? You specify it for the fields. You also specify it for the method. Okay, so now the next question is any instance, all the instance variable by default are defined using private. Why?
Because it will be accessed within that classes only.
Yeah, exactly. The data of that particular instance variable must be accessible only to that class, right? So whatever the data that particular class wants to expose it, like a getters and setters, it make them as public.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the data feeds should not be directly allowed to be accessed. Only the access should be only through setters or getters, okay, or through constructors. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Right, that is what is called the access specifier. That is what is called the method, right?
Sir, default, can you explain default?
Okay, what is default? Default is if you don't specify anything. For example, you have if you look at the method right now, so if you remove this, then what is the access specifier? It's called default.
Default. Okay, sir. Sir, we can
Okay.
use default as a main method, because in main method we should include public, but your removed.
Yeah, but then basically it's accessible. So that main method is accessible only within the package. So what is the package here? This is the package.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this package contains what? These 6 classes.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you do not specify any access specifier, that is called the default.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, public, protected, or private. These are the three. If you don't specify, that becomes default. That means it's accessible only within that package.
Sir,
that class is accessible only within the package.
Sir, may I use protected and private for the main method?
Protected and private for the main method. You want to use, okay. Let's try this. Okay, now let's see what happens. When you run, can you run it? See what happens if we use the private, you can't run it. Why you can't run it? Because who has to run this? That is outside of the class. That executable has to call this class, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when you make it private, so that means it is not accessible to the, who is executing this main method? Who is calling this main method?
No one is calling the main method.
See, what are the commands? If you go to Java C is, what is the difference between Java C and Java?
Java C for compiler, Java for to execute the program.
Executable, correct. So you want to say execute, which command is being run on the class? Which command is being run in the class? Java, exactly. So that means, so Java cannot access the main method because you made it private.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Okay.
So now let's try with the protected.
Protected.
Okay. So if you make it protected, they run as, so that also still cannot.
Yes, sir.
Because where is the Java command located? It is not in the package,
Yes.
right? That's why it cannot run it. So because Java exists outside, it is in the library, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You cannot make, you cannot have the private or protected for the main method. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay, now let's try with the default.
Okay.
The default
Yeah.
also, it doesn't allow. So
Yes, sir.
only public, only the Java command
Public.
for main method, it needs to be public. Then only it can
Okay, sir.
execute it. Right? So now the Java application is allowed.
Sir,
Okay?
sir.
Tell me.
Sir, in main method, public static void main we used. Why we use static, sir? Instead of that, you can use something. But
No,
why
okay,
we
why?
using
Okay,
the
let's
static?
understand. How many of you understood the data type, the data variables are 3 different variables, right? Static, local, and instance. What's the
Instance.
difference between static, local, and instance?
Static once created,
Static
we can
is the class
once
level
we
only.
have to create and we can use anywhere. And instant means it's a global variable, and local variables means we can use in that method only. Instant we can call it anywhere in the class or outside the class.
No, you're not understanding this. Static means what? It is at a class level. What did I say? Anything static
Class
is at
level.
what level? It's a class level.
Class level.
Instance is at what level?
Object level.
It's an object level. If you have 10 objects, so these instance variables are repeated 10 times. Right?
Yes, sir.
Whereas a static, if you have 10 objects, does it repeat it 10 times for static?
No, only one time.
Only
Only
one time.
one time. Irrespective of the number of objects, static means once.
One.
Okay? Static means
One.
once. Okay? Plus, why static? If you want to access any method without static, how do you access an instance method?
Create an object.
So instance method, you have to access only through objects.
Yes, sir.
Instance method can be accessed through the
Only
method.
object method.
Whereas a static methods can be accessed through the class.
Yes.
Okay, the difference between static method and instance method is instance methods can be accessed only using object variable. Okay, whereas the
Okay,
class methods can be accessed through the using the class name correctly. So that is the reason static, it can be Java can execute the Java needs static. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is access specifier. All right. So next concept is inheritance and aggregation. Do you know this? Do you understand this inheritance and aggregation?
No, sir.
No, sir. I know about inheritance, but I don't know about aggregation, sir.
Okay. Others, Archana, do you know? Have you heard of? Or Lavanya?
Only inheritance we have heard, sir, not about aggregation.
Not aggregation. Okay. Lavanya?
Heard, sir, but I didn't understand the topic.
Okay. Suresh?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's look at this, right? So what is the why inheritance? So I think I've actually briefly talked about why inheritance. What is the root cause for having inheritance?
If we want to utilize the variables and methods in
Before that,
one
if you
class
look at
to
the
another
physical
class.
world, how is the world is structured as?
Pyramid.
Relationship.
Pyramid, sir. Pyramid.
Real world object.
Exactly, right? So the fundamentally everything is organized as a pyramid structure in the world. Is this correct or not?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So the families are pyramid structures. So the governments are pyramid structures. The departments or companies are pyramid structures. So everything is pyramid structure. So what does it mean by pyramid structure? The most common will be inherited by the bottom people. The topmost things are all inherited by the bottommost.
Bottom people.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So for example, if you look at it, vehicle, right? If you look at the vehicle, right? So the vehicle is, for example, is the super class for all vehicles. So what is the definition of a vehicle?
Moving object.
Exactly. So how do you describe a vehicle? Vehicle is something that has engine,
Engine,
right?
Wheels,
car,
wheels
that
you
has a
said.
body, that has a wheels, that has a
Wheels
tires,
and
tire,
also
steering.
right?
steering.
So
Yes, sir.
steering. This is the vehicle. So we are not talking about either a two-wheeler or four-wheeler or a truck or lorry, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the vehicle. Any vehicle, what are the common attributes of any vehicle? It needs to
Wheel.
have engine, it needs to have a tire, it needs to have a body, it needs to have a steering wheel.
Steering,
Steering.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
that is what is basically is when you define a hierarchy of objects or hierarchy of the classes, this is how you define. For vehicle, for example, you say that vehicle is the parent class and its child classes are two-wheeler,
Two-wheeler,
three-wheeler,
three-wheeler,
four-wheeler, lorry, trucks. These are all the different child classes.
different. Okay, sir.
Again, each of them, you say two-wheeler, geared vehicles, gearless vehicles. Similarly, three-wheelers, four-wheelers also, geared, gearless, automatic, sports vehicles. So what we do is any object, every object in the world has to have a hierarchy because
Hierarchy.
objects are always organized as a pyramid structure.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if you look at the product, so everything that we buy from Amazon or Flipkart, what do they call us? What do we call them as?
Online shopping.
Online shopping. But what do you call when we say we order from Amazon? What do you say that? We order the
Item.
products from Amazon.
Items, sir. Products.
Products are items, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So now this item is the super class. Under item, you have basically again is, so every item, what all the items will have? Item will have a name, item will have a price, right?
Quality.
So
Yes,
these are
sir.
all the common attributes, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anything that you order from Amazon will have a name, will have a price,
Price,
will have a
brand.
category, right? So
Yes,
then
sir.
then you further drill it down, you have electronics, you have toys, you have dresses. So these are all the further hierarchy. So the key aspect of is you should remember is inheritance is a must. Any software object that you are creating, please understand that inheritance is a must. Irrespective of the domain. Anything that you deal with, there are relationships exist. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how do you define the inheritance relationship? You have to use the keyword called extends.
Extends.
So the most important is all the common attributes across all the classes will be defined at the top. Then while it relates to specific to two-wheeler attributes or a two-wheeler class, three-wheeler attributes in three-wheeler class, four-wheeler attributes in four-wheeler class. Again, under four-wheeler, if there are automatic cars, then all the attributes related to automatic car will be in the automatic. Okay. So
Okay,
that
sir.
is how the inheritance hierarchy is a must.
Okay.
Now let's understand aggregation. Why aggregation?
Don't know, sir.
Hmm? What is aggregation?
One object contains another object, sir.
Exactly, right? For example, if you look at the car is a complex object, right?
Yes, sir.
So what does a car contain? A car contains tires, engine, body, wheel.
Yes,
so
sir.
now the tire is a class or not?
Yes, sir.
Right? So, tire is a class, right? Engine is also class.
Yes.
Class.
Body is also class, right?
Yes,
Gear
sir.
is also class. So aggregation is what? One class contains objects of other classes as an attribute. That is called aggregation. All the complex objects in the world, they are all aggregated objects like cars, vehicles, right? So
Yes,
that,
sir.
that is what is the concept of aggregation. What is the purpose of aggregation? It's reusability, right? So
Sir,
that
can
is the
you
purpose.
explain it with another example?
Sorry?
Can you explain it with another example? Because I can't understand this vehicle concept.
No, but do you understand car, right?
Yes, sir, I understood.
Okay.
But in inheritance concept, I understood very well. But aggregation, I have some doubt.
So what is
Can
your
you
doubt? Ask
explain
me,
it?
then I'll explain.
How one object contains the other object, sir?
You have you seen the car?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now car contains types.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is the tire is also an object or not?
Yes, sir. It's an object.
Sir, combining
so
multiple objects is known as argument, sir.
Exactly. So now if you to define a car object, you need a tire object,
Yes, sir.
right? Or for example, take the laptop.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so laptop is an object.
Yes, sir. It's an object. Laptop.
Okay, laptop contains what other objects are in the laptop?
Mouse, and it contains keys and display.
Correct. So now is mouse an object,
Yes, sir.
right? So mouse, motherboard, hard disk, USB
Yes.
drive. So these are all objects, right?
Yes, sir.
So now the laptop contains all these other objects. To describe the laptop, all these other objects are required.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So now laptop is a complex object,
Yes, sir.
right? Similarly, car is a complex object.
Yes, sir. Sir, if we want to define one object, we use all these objects in a one. That is called as aggregation, sir.
Exactly, right? So anything
sir.
you want to define a complex object, you have to aggregate all other objects put together, then you can define the complex object.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Inheritance means if you want to use the data, if you want to, if you use in
Yeah,
extent keyword.
inheritance means what is inheritance? For example, so forget about software for a minute. So
Okay, sir.
in our human relationships, what is being inherited? So what do we inherit from our parents?
Properties.
One is a property. What else we inherit?
Symptoms, sir.
Symptoms, sir.
Genes.
Similarity.
Exactly. We inherit the DNA, right?
Yes, sir. DNA.
So DNA is being inherited. Properties are being inherited. Some of our behavioral aspects are being inherited from parents.
Yes, sir.
Right? So
Yes, sir.
that is inheritance. So what is the definition of there? Basically is we inherit these properties from our parents.
Yes, sir.
Our parents inherit their properties from their parents.
Yes.
Right? So that is what is inheritance. Here in the information world, what is inheritance? All the common attributes. For example, all the common attributes of a vehicle, where do we define? We define at a vehicle level.
Okay, sir.
At a vehicle level, what do we define? Every vehicle will have an engine, every vehicle will have a body, every vehicle will have an engine. All that we define at a vehicle class level.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Then,
Okay, sir.
if two-wheeler is the child class of vehicle, what do we define here? We say that the number of wheels here is 2. The specific properties of two-wheeler are defined in the two-wheeler class.
Yes, sir.
Right? Then we say that what kind of engine it is. At a vehicle level, we don't specify the engine, right? What kind of an engine? So at a two-wheeler level, you specify it's a two-wheeler engine.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So that is what is called the inheritance mechanism.
Okay.
So now you understand the difference between inheritance and aggregation?
Yes, sir. I understood.
Okay. All right. Okay. What else we need to?
Execution clause.
Execution flow, I've explained, right? How many of you understood this execution flow?
Sir, I have doubt on main method, sir. How we call it? How the object will be called in main method?
Okay. Who calls the main method?
Nobody.
No, the main
Yes.
method is the first method that gets called, right? Who
Yes,
calls the
sir.
main method?
When we run the program, it will check
Correct.
first
When we
main
run the
method, sir.
program, correct. You run the program, but who is calling this main method?
Compiler.
Compiler, JVM.
Huh?
JVM.
JVM, right? The Java
Yes, sir.
command calls the main method, correct?
Yes, sir.
So when we say execute, Who is calling the main method? Java is calling it.
The compiler.
Yes, sir.
Right? So then basically what happens? Then this stack is being created. The stack is being created for the main method.
Main method.
Right? So then the step-by-step instruction starts getting executed.
Yes, sir.
So down the main method calls internally, customer constructor is being called. That is another method.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So then what happens? The on top of main method, the customer method is being pushed. And then the execution starts from customer.
Customer.
Right? Now if you look at this here,
Yes,
so
sir.
now, so what is the flow step by step? First, declaration of test.
Declaration test.
So int is test. So test is being declared. So memory location is assigned for test. Then this is being called. When this is being called, what happens? Stack for main on top of main, customer method is being pushed. And where does the execution start from? It starts here. Right? These three will be executed. Then after that, where does the execution continues? It continues on 30.
Yes, sir.
Right? And then the customer stack is being pushed out. So it is removed. This gets removed.
Okay.
Okay, this gets removed and only main remains.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Then that continues again. And then until when it comes to 37 again, what happens? So again, customer is being pushed on top of, this is an empty constructor.
Yes,
The
sir.
customer is being pushed on top of main.
Main.
Right?
Yes,
So
sir.
then the customer comes again. So that is how the program execution flow. Clear?
Sir, first it will come to the public static main method.
Right.
After that, it will reach out to the customer. Here object is created. So
Right.
it will call that object, and next it will goes to second object and it will call that and it will execute. In that way,
Exactly.
data will be
So
executed.
the flow of execution is what? First statement is 27 is executed, 29 is executed. After 29, where does the execution goes? Line 16.
Line 16.
16, 17, 18.
Yes,
After
sir.
that, after 29, 16, 17, 18. After that, 30,
This
31,
30,
32,
32,
33,
33,
36.
36,
Then after 36, then 37.
37.
It goes. After 37, where does it go? This is empty constructor. It goes to
Yes, sir.
22. Right?
22.
After 22, then it comes here 39. Then again, here it's got an array of customers is being called.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is how the flow of execution is. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So during the flow of execution, what plays the part? Stack traces are being created. And the
Yes,
methods are being pushed and popped out of stack.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the stack is being used to store the local variables. Where do they store? Local variables are
Local
always
variables always.
stack memory.
Yes,
Local
sir.
variables are stored in the stack
Stack
memory,
memory.
Stack memory.
right? The object variables, instance variables are stored in the heap memory.
Heap memory.
Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that is the session for the day. Let me give it, unless if you don't have any questions, let's start the quiz.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Akash, today I think looks like the day by day count is first day started with 40 people, now 22 are there. Can you just check others what is happening?
Yes, sir, definitely. I will call each and every person.
Yeah.
I already taken attendance also.
Okay, yeah. Please take the screenshot also every day, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I taken.
Okay, this is today's quiz. All of you quickly complete it.